What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 53 of the Ham Podcast. Glad that you can join me here on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday night. There I am. There I am. Everybody can see me now on this wonderful Wednesday night. Boy, has it been a week. Let me just start off with that. So glad that we are here. So glad that I've made it. I'm glad that you've made it. We're almost there, right? It is officially hump day. Welcome, James. Welcome to the Ham Podcast, episode 53. So glad. Mike D, welcome to the Ham Podcast, episode 53. So glad that we made it. It is hump day. And let me tell you, it is so good. Such a great feeling to be here. James already starting. Puro pinche Cowboys. We're going to get to that, James. You know what? Let's dive right in, right? We've done enough pleasantries. So, what an amazing wild card weekend of football, right? Those games, my God, Lord, I loved them. Buffalo, Miami. I did not expect that game to be that close, especially with Miami not having Tua in the starting lineup, right? That backup came in and he was ready to play. Man, he played his heart out. Welcome in, don't lie. Welcome into the Ham Podcast, live on Twitch, live on Facebook, baby. I like to multitask. You know what I do. Welcome in, welcome in. So, and I didn't think Miami was going to do that well without Tua Tagovailoa, but they hung in there, man. And welcome into the Ham Podcast, Julian. They hung in there. They played Buffalo tough, man. But Buffalo pulled out the win, right? Got some turnovers late in the game, and got that dub. Then you had Cincinnati and Baltimore. And look, man, I'm picking Cincy to come out of the AFC, right? If not Cincy, I think it'll be Buffalo. Cincy is my pick to coming out of the AFC and make it to the Super Bowl. And Baltimore pushed them to the limit. Baltimore said, Lamar Jackson, who? Welcome into the Ham Podcast, Jay Ham. Baltimore said, Lamar Jackson, who? We can play without him. Huntley came in and he played strong. He played well. Come on, Bengals. Huntley pushed Cincinnati's defense, man. Amazing job by Cincinnati's defense, though. That turnover on the goal line where Huntley reached out to try to get across the plane, and Cincinnati, that linebacker said, boop, welcome in, Jules to the Ham Podcast. And Cincinnati said, boop, knocked that ball out, ran it back. Amazing game. Jules says, let's go Niners. Here we go. So we got James talking about Puro Pinche Cowboys, and we got Jules talking about let's go Niners. And we're going to dig into that matchup. We are going to talk about that matchup here in a little bit. What's up, Jay Ham? So, Cincinnati wins, right? Then you get the NFC. I told everybody, I said it, the Giants will pull the upset over the Vikings. I said it, right? It's not Carson Wentz, but I compare him to Carson Wentz. Kirk Cousins is who we thought he is. Kirk Cousins shits the bed when the primetime lights are on him, man. I mean, let me just tell you. I mean, he laid an egg again, right? The whole Vikings team laid an egg, to be honest. The Giants went out there. They played well. The Giants looked like they were prepared. And Brian DeBall, hey, look, I'm a Cowboys fan through and through, but Brian DeBall, the first-year head coach of the Giants, coach of the year. He gets coach of the year to turn that team around. When you're talking about not just last in the NFC, but one of the bottom teams in the league last year, and then you turn them around and you have them competing for the NFC East title. You have them competing now in the divisional round. Well, they'll play the Eagles next. Amazing job, Brian DeBoer. Great job. And then the last game of the wild card, right? My Cowboys versus Tampa Bay. And Doug Peterson has done a great job as well with Jacksonville, right? Oh, we didn't even talk about Jacksonville. Jacksonville goes out there and just amazingly stinks up the first half. Trevor Lawrence throws 4 interceptions in the first half. I don't know what was wrong with Jacksonville in that first half. But then the second half, completely different team. They were down 27-0. They come back to win. 31-30. Welcome into the Ham Podcast, Ruby. They come back to win 31. I mean, an amazing performance from Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence as a second-year quarterback to show the resilience. in your first playoff game to not only, like, your first playoff game, you throw 4 interceptions, and then you bounce back in the second half and say, nah, I got this, coach. You picked me for a reason. And Julian says he looks like the Dazed and Confused quarterback. So you picked me for a reason. And you know what? Welcome in, Luke. Welcome in, Ram, to the Ham podcast. So you picked me for a reason. He goes out there in the second half. Trevor Lawrence does, and throws an amazing fucking second half. They come back to win the game. Now they're going to play Kansas City in Kansas City. And then my Cowboys. My Cowboys go out Monday night, and let me tell you, I was nervous, man, because, you know, we're 0-7 against Tom Brady all time. We're in Tampa. We've been known to shit the bed sometimes when it comes to these primetime, you know, games when in playoff time. And we were like, we hadn't won a road playoff game in like 25 years or something. I mean, everything was against us. They even went as far as saying that we were 1-6 when wearing the blue jerseys in playoffs. Well, we went out there and we put that shit to rest. We went out there and we said, hold the phone. We them boys. And we looked like them boys in the first half, right? We looked like, I mean, not the first half, but the whole game. We looked like them boys, right? Defense was playing stellar. They did what I asked. If you look at the podcast last week, what did I say? We can't sit back and play just zone and not put pressure on Tom. We got to put pressure on Tom if we're going to win. And that's exactly what they did. They put pressure on Tom Brady, made him get rid of the ball quickly before he wanted to, before he could dissect us. And we performed well, man. Offense started slow. First 2 drives didn't look good. I was a little nervous. In a group chat that I have with some friends, they were already like, get rid of Dak. Dak needs to be gone. And I said, stop it. Just stop it. Stop the nonsense. I told my group chat. I told them STFU. All right, shut the fuck up. All right. And yes, Ram, you're absolutely right. We got to give it to that defense. And then Dak came out on that third drive, and he looked like the Dak that we expected. He took command of that offense. I think they said something like he hit 8 or 9 different receivers in the game. I mean, it was magnificent. It was beautiful. And now, what is our reward? We get to go play the fucking San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. This is it. As a Cowboys fan, as a fan that grew up loving the Cowboys, born to love them, born to cheer for them. Now, my dad didn't make me cheer for them. He says, hey, this is who I cheer for. You cheer for the team you want. And I like the Cowboys, right? I said, hey, you know, Dad cheers for them. I'm going to cheer for them. And I grew to love them. And one of the biggest rivalries was the Cowboys and the Niners in the 90s, right? That was the biggest rivalry in the 90s. Joe Montana, Troy Aikman. Steve Young, Troy Aikman, right? Ricky Watters, Emmitt Smith, right? Their defensive line versus our offensive line, right? It was, I mean, one year you got Deion playing for the Cowboys winning a Super Bowl. The next year Deion's playing with the Niners winning a Super Bowl. It was just everywhere. Welcome into the Ham Podcast. So now here we are. Last year we played them. They knocked us out in the first round in our own stadium, right? Niners kicked our ass last year. We didn't deserve to win that game. They kicked our ass. Now we can go and we can get a little payback in their stadium, right? If we play well. If we stick to the game plan. Now, they're loaded. They're fucking loaded to the gills with skilled players. I mean, the rookie quarterback playing out of his mind. 6-0 so far, maybe 7-0. Brock Purdy makes good decisions, right? Doesn't play like a rookie. Then you got Christian McCaffrey, right? Christian McCaffrey, we all know. We all know what he's capable of doing. He's a bad matchup. He's a running back who gets linebackers put on him, and he destroys them, right? Then they got Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, right? And then if you want to go and bring in like a hardcore running back, they can bring in Elijah Mitchell, right? So their offense is stacked to the gills, man. Their defense, Fred Warner, right? Ward at corner. Their defense is good, right? But then let's take a look at the Cowboys. Our offense ain't bad either. Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb. And let me tell you something. Don't sleep on my boy T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. has been playing phenomenal these few games, right? T.Y., You're looking at Noah Brown, right? Our all-world tight end, Dalton Schultz, and these backup rookies aren't bad, Ferguson and Hendershot. So our offense has skill fucking players too. And then you look at our defense. We get after the quarterback, right? And it all starts with our all-world outside linebacker, right? Micah Parsons. Then we got, DeMarcus Lawrence. In the middle, we got Odigizua, right? We got Hankins. We got, and I hate to see it, man, but he makes mistakes, but we still love him. We've got our corner, right? Diggs. We've got Bland playing corner. No, we are not going to mention the kicker, Julian. We will not. He has not earned the right to be on this podcast tonight. But, you're looking at probably two of the better teams in the league that are going to be playing, right, in the NFC divisional round. And then you got the Eagles versus the Giants. The Eagles have beat them 3 times this year, right? I'm sorry, 2 times. They beat them twice. Can they do it a third? It's always hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. It's going to be interesting. But here's something I want to talk to y'all about, man. As this week was going, I was kind of pondering, all right, obviously I'm going to do playoff talk, right? But where am I going to go to next? What am I going to talk about after that, right? Well, I got sent a gift from the heavens. The heavens shine down on me, and I got a message from somebody saying, hey, here's something you can talk about. This is something that really chaps my hide. And you know what? I agree with him. And this might piss off some people. All right? This may rub some people the wrong way because I am a Cowboys fan. But one of the things we got to talk about, Cowboy fans, is the way we talk about, welcome into the Ham Podcast, Jason, the way we talk about our team, right? The way we defend our team, should I say, right? Whenever somebody talks bad about the Cowboys, what's the first thing we always say, right? A lot of Cowboy fans do this. And let me see if anybody types it up here before I even say it. When another person says something about our team, what's the first thing we always bounce back with? I'm going to give y'all about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Well, we got 5 rings, though. We got 5 Super Bowl trophies, right? How many Super Bowls do y'all have? And don't get me wrong. James says America's team, right? And don't get me wrong. Those 5 Super Bowls are great, right? 5 Super Bowls are great. But do those Super Bowls have an expiration date on them? How long can we continue to say, we got 5 Super Bowls, though, right? At what point do we stop using that? Right? Xavier, welcome into the Ham Podcast. At what point as Cowboy fans do we have to stop and look in the mirror and say, I can't use this fucking excuse of 5 Super Bowls when that was 25, 30 years ago? Right? At what point do we have to look at ourselves and say, well, if we're going to be relevant, we got to win another one now. Right? We've got to win one now. Or at least make it to the fucking Super Bowl, right? As a Cowboys fan, James says after this year when we win the 6th ring, and you know what? I hope we do, James, but as a Cowboys fan, we've got to stop living in the past, my boys. We have to, right? We've got to stop living in the past, Cowboy fans, because okay, a lot of people, right? A lot of people these days say, well, who's better, LeBron or Jordan, right? And, well, Jordan's got 6 rings, LeBron doesn't. But does that make Jordan better? The team had 6 rings, right? Jordan's team, the Bulls, had 6 rings. Because Jordan's got 6, that makes him better than LeBron, right? So just because we had 5, Julian says, suit up, Aikman, right? Just because we have 5, right, in our past, everywhere from the 60s to the 90s, we can't keep relying on that, Cowboy fan. And I am a diehard Cowboys fan. I've followed them since I was a young lad, right? And as a Cowboys fan, let me point something out. I'm the type of Cowboys fan that I could name you the offensive line back in the 90s when we were watching. Welcome in, Ariel, to the Ham Podcast. I can name you offensive linemen from when we won Super Bowls. I can name you corners, right? I can name you, of course, everybody can name the star players, right? Aikman, Irvin, Emmett, right? Those were our star players. Who was the other receiver on the other side of Irvin? Anybody, right? I know who it was. But who was it, right? Alvin Harper, right? Alvin Harper was the other. Who was our tight end? Jay Novacek, right? Who was our offensive line back there? Right? I can name these guys. I'm a hardcore fan. As Cowboy fans, though, if you can't name me 10 players from that 90s team that won the Super Bowl, you can't use the excuse of, well, we got 5 rings. Because guess what? You can't even name 10 players, my man. And I'm a Cowboys fan. I love my Cowboys. But we've got to win something now. Mike D says it's a new generation. It's what you do today, not 3 decades ago. I hate to say it, guys, but I agree with him, right? I agree with him. It's the world of sports, or just the world in general, right? Whether you're in sports, business, whether you're in sales, whatever it is. It's a what have you done for me lately world. That's the world we live in now, right? If I was to go to my boss and say, hey, I'd like a raise. I did really good last year. Okay, well, what have you done this month? Right? What have you done this quarter? Right? What have you done to improve numbers? Right? Even Aikman said it on Monday night's game during the broadcast. Right? And I see I lost some viewers. I lost some viewers. But what did Aikman say Monday night? He goes, hey, I'm proud to be a part of the Cowboys team that raised the bar, that set the bar, that the bar is winning Super Bowls. He goes, I'm proud to be a part of those teams. These teams now, Dak and Zeke and them, they've got to get to that bar. Winning in the first round isn't enough. Yes, it's great. You did it. Great. But now what, right? Now to where do we go, right? If the quarterback that won the Super Bowls in the 90s for us is saying this, as fans, we have to take a step back and say, fuck, you're right. We've got to win something, right? I hate to say it, the 49ers, they've been to a Super Bowl in the 2000 era, right? We haven't. Yes, the 49ers didn't win one. Welcome into the Ham Podcast, Jonathan De La Fuente, right? I hate to say it, but the Niners have been to a Super Bowl. The Bengals have been to a Super Bowl, right? Kansas City's won some, right? We haven't even been out the first round. As fans, and I'm a realistic fan, right? I'm a hardcore fan, but I'm very realistic. Sometimes we have to take our medicine and just swallow it. It's not always the most pleasant tasting, but sometimes we just got to take our medicine, right? We can't talk shit till we beat some of these teams that talk shit to us, right? Because they've been doing it in this era. They've done it in the 2005s, 2010s, 2020s. We ain't done it since 95, Cowboy fans. So we gotta stop relying. Gotta stop relying on our 90 Super Bowl, 95 Super Bowl. Jonathan says we just made it past the first round. And I am elated, right? I am elated about that. I saw on my Facebook timeline, somebody put, hey, Cowboy fans, on Monday night after the game, where are we gonna go honk horns? Are you serious? We're talking playoffs? Playoffs? We do got to believe. You're absolutely right. We do got to believe. But one of the things, right, if we're going to bring up all our Super Bowls in the past, then we got to act like we've been there before. We've got to act like we've been there before. The first round should be nothing to us. We should say, yeah, that's what's expected of us. We should be making it. We're 12-14, 12-5. We should make it past the first round against a team who was under 500 with an aging quarterback. Let's be honest. This year, Tom has not been Tom. This was not Tom Brady this year. Right? Father Time caught up with Tom Brady. Okay? I see viewers are leaving. I see Cowboy fans leaving the podcast. And I'm sorry to do this to y'all, but we got to do better, Cowboy fans. We got to act like we've been there before. Right? I love that we defend our team, but we got to come up with something. We got to wait for them to win a Super Bowl before we can say we've got 5. Because I tell you what, we don't even have the most anymore. Steelers have 6. Patriots got 7. San Francisco's got 5, right? So we've got to go and win one now. We've got to win one in this era to become relevant again. Yes, we're America's team. Yes, we have fans everywhere. Yes, we sell out stadiums. Yes, our cheerleaders are iconic. Yes, we have the best logo in the world. But we've got to go win a fucking Super Bowl to be relevant again. We have to. Tell me what you're thinking here, people. Am I right? Is it okay for us to still use our past Super Bowls from the 90s when we're arguing? Let me know. Tell me what you think. here on Facebook, here on Twitch. While y'all type that, while y'all let me know, always feel free to go visit the Instagram, _H_A_M_podcast. Go check us out on Twitter, _ham_podcast. If you want to go watch our previous episodes, you can always go to our YouTube page, The Ham Podcast. Watch them, comment. Love the comments, love the feedback. And guys, also, don't forget, you can always send me some stuff here on our Facebook or wherever, Instagram, our Twitter, our YouTube. Give me some topics that you want to hear about, right? What are some of the things you want to talk about? Hit me up. I'll be more than happy to bring it up here on the Ham Podcast because I am a man of the fucking people and I am here for you all. We will become the best podcast out there together. Jonathan says, well, peace, brother, got to wake up at 4 a.m. Hey, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for joining for a little bit, man. I appreciate it. So, guys, we got to step our game up, right? There comes a time as Cowboy fans where we got to stop bragging about the 90s Super Bowl, right? Because we're the first ones, right? And now, but here's another thing. Let me play devil's advocate for a second, okay? For all the haters out there, right? And this doesn't apply to every hater, right? But for all the haters out there that like to talk about our past downfalls, right? That like to bring up how Romo choked when we played Seattle, right? They like to talk about how we got beat by Green Bay when Dez really caught that ball, right? And they said he didn't. For all the haters that bring up our past, stop. Let's just talk about this season, haters, right? And again, this isn't for everybody, right? Because there are some very, very respectful hater fans that pay respect, right? Even though they don't like the Cowboys, y'all played well, right? I'm talking to you, Mike. This doesn't apply to you, Mike D, because you are a very, very good fan. And even though you don't cheer for the Cowboys, you're very respectful. I see your comments on Facebook. But for some of the real haters out there that hate on the Cowboys, right? And y'all bring up our past, don't do that. Because I know y'all wouldn't like for me to bring up your past. You know, y'all talk about how, welcome in, David. Where them haters at? Go Cowboys. Yes, sir. But, you know, for them haters out there, y'all don't want us to bring up your past. Y'all don't want us to bring up the time about y'all getting cheated on, right? About y'all's failures, right? Y'all don't want us to bring up, welcome to the Ham Podcast, Ernest. Y'all don't want us to bring up about when y'all's girls or y'all's boyfriends cheated on y'all, right? So don't bring up our past, right? Leave our Cowboys alone, all right? Talk about now. If we suck now, talk to us about now. Don't talk to me about the last 20 years, right? If we're going to stop bringing up our past success in the back then, don't bring up our failures now. What up, Ernest? What up, everybody? So again, welcome to the Ham Podcast. This is episode 53, baby. Wednesday night, right? So, cheaters, right? So I'm saying, man, if y'all don't want us to bring light to y'all, don't bring light to my team because they struggle sometimes because they've struggled the last 25 years, right? Julian says, yeah, don't make us bring up your ex-hogs, right? So as a Cowboy fan, I'm talking to all the other Cowboy fans out there. We got to do better. We gotta wait. We gotta make sure our team wins now. Mike D says, I expected y'all to beat the Bucks, and there was no doubt on that. Do y'all sting against the Niners? And I will definitely tip my hat to them. Hey, and you know what? If we beat the Niners, I'm telling you right now, if we beat the Niners, I'm happy. Even if we don't go to the Super Bowl, even if we go to the Super Bowl and we don't win it, if we beat the fucking 49ers, I'm elated. I am so happy because personally, for me, I've got family members that I love to death that are huge 49er fans. I've got coworkers that I like a lot that are huge 49er fans. And I hear this bullshit since last year. We knocked y'all out of the play. Y'all brought up, we them boys. Y'all suck. I want to beat them so bad this year. I want to see them cry. I want to see Deebo Samuel cry the way he cried last year against St. Louis, right? I want to see those 40 whiners whine. James says, winner of the 49ers and Cowboys will go to the Super Bowl. I agree with that. I think so too. I think, yes, Philadelphia is great. But even if they get past the Giants, I don't think Philly will beat the Cowboys in the NFC Championship, and I don't think they would beat the Niners in the NFC Championship. I think we'll find the Eagles to be who we thought they were, a really good regular season team, and just don't have the steam, right, in the playoffs. In the AFC, man, I think the winner of Buffalo and Cincy is the Super Bowl winner. Or I'm sorry, is going to the Super Bowl. I think the winner of Buffalo and Cincinnati this weekend will be the AFC team that goes to the Super Bowl. That's just my thought, right? Tell me what you think. Who are y'all Super Bowl picks? Who do y'all have going from the NFC and the AFC? Ernest says, been hating the Niners since the 90s, the real rival. Exactly, and that rivalry's back. That rivalry between the Niners and Cowboys are back because now both teams are making the playoffs. And it's not necessarily just in the first round. Here we are in the second round, in the divisional round, right? For a lot of years, the Niners were making the playoffs and we weren't. They had every right to fucking clown us, right? For 25 years, they had every right to clown us. And now we get to fight back, right? Our team gives us a chance to talk a little bit of shit back, but we got to win. James says he's got the Bills coming out of the AFC and the Cowboys coming out of the NFC. I like those two picks. I do. Now, right, we've said our piece about the haters. We've said our piece about Cowboy fans needing to do better, right? But I tell you what, Colin Kaepernick got them to the Super Bowl. He did. Well, that's another thing, right? Is yes, he did help them get to the Super Bowl, but Alex Smith played a lot of that season, right? Alex Smith did a lot of that winning. Michael Viesca says he's got the Chiefs and the Cowboys making it to the Super Bowl. Chiefs coming out of the AFC, Cowboys coming out of the NFC. That's a good possibility. Mike D says, I've been saying Bengals and Cowboys, but it's a tough road for the Bengals. Josh Allen's a machine. Put them in the NFC and other one of those still come out on top. Yeah, I could see that, man. I could see even if Buffalo and Cincy were in the NFC, I could see them being top teams. Absolutely. Josh Allen is, and let's be honest, he's not even playing with a good elbow, right? That elbow's not healthy for Josh Allen, right? So he's doing this with an injured elbow. He says Mahomes. There we go. So Mike says Mahomes as well. But very interesting, right? These playoffs have been, the first round was fucking amazing. Couldn't ask for anything more. You're talking about 27-point comebacks. You're talking about close games. The only game that was a blowout were the Cowboys and the Bucks. And I'm glad that happened because I think that gets the Cowboys' confidence up, except for the fucking kicker, except for Brett Maher, which I don't want to talk about. Jesus Christ. How do you miss 4 extra points in a row? Not 1, not 2, not 3, but fucking 4 extra points in a row? Like, come on. Like, really? Like, Jesus. My God. I was at a loss for words. I didn't know. We signed a backup. We're not benching him. The Cowboys have said they're not going to bench Brett Maher, but we did sign a backup today just in case he decides to have a repeat of Monday night against the Niners. So what that tells me is he goes out there and he misses his first kick. Backup, go on in. Says he owed the Mafia. Yeah, Brett Maher could have owed. Yeah, he could have been throwing that game. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's like you've been Money Maher all season, and now you're going to miss 4 extra points back to back to back to back. It's just crazy. Yeah, James, I agree. I don't understand why we didn't go for 2 after the first 2 misses. After the first miss, I agree. Let's give him a second shot. And then after the second one, I'm saying we're going for 2. But I also understand that the Cowboys probably felt like, okay, we're ahead. We've got a good lead. Let's get him to make one to get his confidence back because we will need him. So I can understand the logic there. Mike says, yo, good luck all your teams. If they are involved, nothing will be easy for anyone still in the mix. But this playoff football show is up and is a show up, show out. Yeah, I agree. Ernest says, I don't think they will dress the backup for the game, though. Okay, so that's interesting, right? Because they would have to take somebody out of a roster spot to bring in the extra player. So, I mean, at that point, right, you don't want to get rid of a pivotal position, right? Can't get rid of a corner, backup offensive lineman, something like that. So that makes sense. I agree with that. All right, so let's turn the corner here. All right, gentlemen, talk to me, right? So I was looking at something the other day, right? Let's get away from football for a second. Let's put on our man hats, right? Let's just put on the man hat. So I was watching some TikToks and some YouTube videos and shit, and I saw this one chick that was upset. She was mad, right? And the reason she was mad was She said that her and her dude, welcome in Bear Grylls, Beer Grylls. I'm sorry, Beer Grylls. I love that name. Said she was upset because her and her man, she was wanting to do sex all day, and she came to find out that her man was taking some Viagra that day, and she felt like he was cheating on her. She goes, "Why do you need to take Viagra? Do I not turn you on?" I don't understand the concept. I don't understand. What's good, Beer? What's good? If your man decides to take a little extra help, what's the problem? What's the problem? Mike D says, Ernest Tag is my baby daddy. I need child support. There we go. You better pay up. You better pay up, Ernest Tag. What's the problem if men take a little Viagra? What's the problem with that, right? It's only helping him. It's helping you, right? It's making you feel better. Why should women get mad? And women, if you're in here, tell me, why is it a bad thing if your man takes Viagra? It's got nothing to do with your looks. It's just that, hey, maybe we need, that, hey, bodybuilders take steroids, right? They're already big, but they take steroids, right? So why is it that a woman will get mad if her dude took Viagra without telling her? James says it's a mental thing for women. I need to understand this, right? I need to understand this because if anything, it's like, it should say, hey, my man wants to go longer. He wants to go more than one round, right? He wants to go more than 2 rounds. Shit. He wants to go, 15 rounds with the champ, right? Why is it such a bad thing if your man takes Viagra? I don't understand it. Welcome in, Gilbert to the Ham Podcast. Welcome in, Denise, right? I don't get it. I don't think it's a bad thing. Now, I'm not saying me in particular takes it, right? I luckily have not reached that age yet, but women, I see some women in here. What would y'all say? You found out, Mike says, King Ding-a-ling, right? Look, guys, we all like to brag, but we all also know that we're not all there, right? Not all of us are King Ding-a-ling, right? So some of us may need that Viagra, right? Ernest says, better than not putting in effort. I agree. See, James says, if a guy can't stay aroused, then she will feel like she is not attracted to him anymore. Beer says, no problem at all, only helping the two of y'all out. However, if he took it and then went out with the boys, then maybe she needs to question. I agree with you there, Beer. Now, James, that's a good point, right? And I think women automatically go to that, right? Oh, I don't arouse you anymore. Welcome into the Ham Podcast, G, right? If I'm not arousing you, do you need that to... But it's not that, women, at least not for most men, right? It's not necessarily that we need it to get aroused. It's an extra help, right? It's so that, because let's be honest, most women's sex drive is a lot higher than men's, right? A lot higher. So for men, it's like, well, shit, how do I keep up with my girl? Obviously, I don't want her going to look for it somewhere else. So let me go ahead and take this little blue pill real quick, right? So I think that's, for men, that's how we look at it as, hey, I want to go extra longer for her, right? No pun intended, but extra long for her. So let me go and take this pill. Denise says, I will never have an issue. I love it, right? Shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't be an issue. I agree. It's like, I mean, I can understand the different aspect, right? I can understand if your man's like, oh, well, let's look at porn real quick. That I can understand her getting mad. Right? But if your man's taking a little blue pill just to enjoy the moment even longer, I don't see anything wrong with it. Let's see here. Mike D says, G Vills, put your whole shoe game up on a bet for the Cowboys game. Oh man, G, the challenge has been issued. Beer says maybe he gets whiskey wiener and pops a supercharged to make sure he's stable. Hey, that could be it too. That's a good point, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with necessarily men taking that extra care, right? That extra help to make sure that his lady friend is pleased. That's the way I look at it, right? If he's doing this to say, maybe I want to make sure you're happy. Somebody hearted Denise's comment. I wonder who that was, right? But never should a woman take offense to it, right? It's only to make your life even better. That's the way I see it, right? Now, here's another thing, right? Let's move on from that. I love movies. Love movies. One of my favorite movies, or I don't want to say favorite, one of the movies I like to watch, let me know if anybody's seen it in here, is The Best Man, right? The movie The Best Man. And then they made a second one, The Best Man Holiday, right? I love those movies. The Best Man Holidays, I love it, right? Well, I didn't know. Nobody told me this, but I found out today that there is a TV show on Peacock now that is an extension of those movies, The Best Man. And it has all the same actors and actresses, right? It's got Nia Long. It's got Sanaa Lathan. It's got Taye Diggs. He thought I was going to say Blank Man. Blank Man is a favorite, though. Blank Man is a favorite. Anytime you can get Damon Wayans and Robin Givens in a movie, I'm okay with that. But, it's got all the same actors and actresses in there. Morris Chestnut. And this TV show is pretty fucking good. I tell you what, they didn't exclude anything. You still get some sex scenes in there. Nothing too crazy, of course. It's on Peacock, right? But you still get that. You still get the curse words. You still get the action. Love it. And I'm a fan of the movies, right? Love the movies. And the TV show is just phenomenal. So if you ever need a TV show to watch the movies first, The Best Man, and then The Best Man Holiday, and then go on Peacock and check out The Best Man Final Chapter, Season 1. It is amazing. I love it. Can't wait to continue to watch it, right? I may watch it right after this episode of the Ham Podcast, which, by the way, if you missed the beginning and you want to go back and watch it, you can always go to our YouTube page, The Ham Podcast, check it out from the beginning or any one of our previous episodes. But, guys, ladies, women, men, this is the time. This is it. This is the time where we have to unite, right? We've got to come together for a greater cause. And that greater cause is to make this world a better place. And there's only one way to make this world a better place. Okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, you got to let us watch football. Got to let us watch playoff football. Right? Women, you got to, and the blue pills. Yeah, and the blue pills. But you got to let us watch our games. Right? If you want to, if just a little FYI, if you want to do something, right, and just do it either before your man's team plays or after your man's team plays, right? I used to date somebody, and I would tell her, baby, Cowboys play at 3 o'clock. You want to go have brunch? You want to go whatever you want to do? Let's do it before, so we're back home at 3, right? Or we can do it after 6, right? And she'd be like, no, I'm good. Let's stay home and let's make lunch and okay, cool, baby. We'll stay home and make lunch then. We'll have a good time. All right. 3 o'clock comes, turn on the TV. Babe, let's go out to the mall. Let's go shopping. What? Wait a second. Fuck are you talking about? I told you anything before 3 we can do. Anything after 6 we'll knock out. So women, just buy a watch, right? Look at time, check on the laptop, computer, whatever it is you need to do, check out the phone. Just let us watch the game. And I promise you, afterwards, we'll take that blue pill. Ernest says the Lawnmower 2.0. Yes. We'll take that blue pill, and then we'll all have a great night, right? But you got to let us watch the game first. Welcome to the Ham Podcast, Ruben. Welcome. But no, it's an amazing time, right? This is a great time of the year. Men, I'm going to give you a little FYI right now. February 14th is coming. Valentine's Day is around the corner, men. Start planning. Do something special for your woman. Don't wait till the last minute, all right? Go out there, spend a little money, right? Treat her right. James says, tell them to watch the Ham Podcast during the game. Exactly. Great advice, James. But no, man, get ready. If you got a girlfriend, if you got a boyfriend, whatever it is, right? You got a significant other, right? Treat them right treat them right every day of the year. But make sure, women take this shit serious. Make sure you do something nice for them on Valentine's Day. It's around the corner. Start planning. Maybe a little jewelry, maybe some dinner, right? Maybe take them out, whatever it is, right? Whatever your woman likes, do that for her. Do that. Beer says, man, the blue pill is considered a tier 1 drug. Most insurance gives it to you for a couple of bucks. I appreciate the info, Beer. We all do. Denise says, goes both ways. My man deserves his gift too. I agree with that. Women, Denise, I'm glad you mentioned it. Men love gifts. I don't give a fuck what you heard, where you heard it from, what your daddy told you, right? What your uncles tell. Men love gifts. We love to receive gifts too, right? And it doesn't always have to be something extravagant, right? But please don't make it socks. Please don't make it a tie, right? We like some nice shit too, right? Get something your man likes, right? Right? Get him something you know he likes. Maybe he's a fan of a certain team. Get him a jersey, right? Maybe he's a fan of certain, like me, for instance, right? I'm a fan of Viking, history, not the Minnesota Vikings. I'm talking Viking, just the history of Vikings, right? I buy myself fucking Viking mugs and Viking everything, horns. I love it, right? This Valentine's Day, I'm probably gonna buy myself a motherfucking Viking shield to hang on my wall, right? But women, if you know what your man likes, buy them a gift for Valentine's. It will be very, very appreciated. And guess what? He may return the favor later that night, if you know what I mean, right? Maybe he'll do it more than just your birthday, all right? Helmke just likes beer. That's what he means by Viking history. That's a good point. That's a very good point. I like the way you think, beer. Yes, I do enjoy beer. If you see my TikTok, Saturday nights, you will see me drinking beer. Love it. Yeah, that's another thing. Go check out the Ham Podcast TikTok, everybody. It's on there too, right? We're going worldwide, baby. We gonna get this podcast popping. But yes, women, spoil your man a little bit too. We love gifts, right? So take care of your man. Men, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do the little something besides James Avery, right? It's okay, right? So if you want to do something besides James Avery, man, do that too, okay? Ruby says, try Cardi's new whipped cream on the 14th. Oh, here we go. He says, she says, try Cardi's new whipped cream. First of all, I can't stand Cardi B, all right? I'm not a fan of hers. Never have, never will be. But if the whipped cream is tasty, I might put it on my banana split. And I don't mean that sexually. I mean real banana split, like with ice cream and shit. I love that. Mike says, slip her a digit. It will be all good. Yes, that will be. James says, grown men buy K's. Every kiss begins with K. Look at this move. Y'all gonna have, look, and I'm not even sponsored. I'm giving a bunch of shout outs to a bunch of companies, and I'm not even sponsored by these motherfuckers. But, yes, so guys, get out there, spread the word. Make sure everybody knows to go buy their significant other something nice, but also spread the word of the Ham Podcast. Let them know that we are a podcast for the people, and we are going to make this shit worldwide, not just San Antonio local. Beer says, well, if you're feeling country, Dolly Parton just dropped a cake kit. Go play in that. Dolly Parton. Let me tell you something, man. Dolly Parton will forever be like if I had a grandma crush, Dolly's the one. I'll go ahead and take Dolly. I'll take it for the team. Dolly can be my grandma crush. I'm okay with that. But everybody, it has been welcome in, Alex. Oh, that's another thing too. Thank you, Alex. I didn't want to say nothing, but yeah, I know I'm looking goddamn sexy. Guys, let me tell you something. I appreciate the call out, Alex. Yes, I got a haircut. If you noticed, for like the past month and a half, I've been rocking the cap. Not just to talk about Zamora Arduna Realty Group, which I absolutely love. If you're looking for a house in the San Antonio Bernie area, they will help you find it. But also because I didn't, I was letting my hair grow. Now I'm looking good again. If you need a haircut, man, and you're looking to get chopped up fine and you need that good tight fade, go see my boy Blenzo at Clipper Knowledge. Clipper Knowledge off of Babcock, Blenzo. You can find him on Instagram, BLENDZO. That man cuts hair like nobody's business. He's a master. He's a wizard at cutting hair. Go check him out, Blenzo at Clipper Knowledge. That's a shop that he works at. Amazing barber. So that's right. Look at this, man. Them motherfuckers. Yep. I even cut half the beard off. Y'all see that? Half the beard is gone. That's when you know I take life serious. Or I'm trying to look good for the ladies. And like I said, Valentine's Day is coming up. Maybe I can find one that day. Do they have a website for that? Like Valentine's for a day? I don't know. I'll find out. Don't worry about it. But I want to thank all of y'all for joining me tonight. It's been an amazing, magical Wednesday night. This Saturday, pay-per-view time. Let's talk about it, right? This Saturday, pay-per-view time. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing, right? Let's look at these cards real quick. Okay, let's pull this up. So we got UFC 283 main event is Glover Teixeira, right, versus Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Okay, so let's take a look here. All right, let's look at the. Let me get this going here for you. I'm sorry. Here we go. All right, so in the early prelims, guys, early prelims are good, right? So we got Worley Alves versus Nicholas Dalby. That's going to be a killer, right? Those are two just straight people who like to, I didn't mean straight people. People who like to straight throw hands. They don't always go for the submission. They like to throw hands. So that's going to be a good one. You got Terrence McKinney fighting on the early prelims, and you got Cody Stamann. Now, the prelims that are going to be on ESPN, this is going to be a good one, right? We got heavyweight Jalton Almeida, who everybody is saying is the next John Jones. Jalton Almeida is the next John Jones, is what people saying. He's fighting Shamil Abdurkhamov. I said that all wrong. And then you got Thiago Moises fighting on the undercard. You got Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez fighting on the undercard. And then in his retirement fight, the main prelim, a legend of the game. We were talking old school earlier, right? You've got Mauricio Shogun Rua in his last fight ever. And this is in Brazil, by the way. This is it. He gets to, will he go out on top? I hope he does. I've been a fan of Mauricio since he fought in Pride. So I'm looking forward to that fight. First fight of the main card, you got Paul. I love this nickname, Jew Bear. That's right, you heard me, Jew Bear. Paul Jew Bear Craig versus Johnny Walker. Right, that one is straight old school striker versus grappler. Paul Craig is the grappler. Johnny Walker is the striker. Interesting to see what happens. You got Jessica Andrade making her return to the women's flyweight division, fighting Lauren Murphy. That's going to be a banger. I think Andrade. So first of all, I'm taking Johnny Walker. I think Walker knocks out Paul Craig. I'm taking Andrade to beat Lauren Murphy. Then we got a real good scrap here. Gilbert Burns fighting Neil Magny. Magny's a grinder, man. Magny likes to push the pace, tire his opponents out. Gilbert he goes in. Have a good night, Julian. Thank you. Gilbert Burns goes out there looking to knock or submit his opponents out quickly. I'm taking Gilbert Burns in that fight. And then the co-main event, right? The fourth fight between these two. Davison Figueiredo, as his nickname goes, the God of War, right? Versus Brandon Moreno, for all my Mexicanos out there, right? He was the first UFC Mexican-born champion, Brandon Moreno, right? They call him McLovin, right? Because he looks nerdy, but he will go out there and straight knock your ass out, right? This is their fourth fight. The first time they fought, it was a draw. The second time they fought, Moreno submitted Figueiredo. The third time they fought, Davison won by decision, but I think a lot of people think that Moreno won that fight, but for some reason they gave it to Davison. And here they are in their fourth fight, right? You got Davison, who's the flyweight champ. You got Brandon Moreno, who is the interim flyweight champ. I'm going to take Brandon Moreno in this fight. I think Brandon Moreno goes out there. He beats Davison Figueiredo, becomes the champ again. I think what's the word I'm looking for? The unanimous champ. Yeah, because they both got a belt. So I think Brandon Moreno goes out there and gets the dub. And then the main card, you got Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill's been on an absolute tear. Glover, I love Glover, man. He's that old dad strength, just goes out there and he's got skills, man. The guy can knock you out or he can submit you. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Jamal's obviously going to be quicker. He's gonna have the speed advantage, right? I think Glover's got the knockout power, even though Jamal can knock people out, right? And they're both really great on the ground, but I think Glover gets this win. I think the experience of Glover Teixeira gets him this win, and he becomes your light heavyweight champion. And I'm looking forward to these fights this weekend. Can't wait. I'm excited. If you're not excited, you need to go to the doctor and get your pulse checked because something's wrong with you. All right. So, but my star of the night, I think the fighter that has the best performance, Brandon Moreno. I think he goes out there, shows up and shows out and just dominates in Davison's home country of Brazil. And he needs to, because if this fight goes to a decision in Brazil, it's not going to be good for Brandon Moreno. He needs to get a finish. Welcome to the Hand Podcast. Simon Atilano, welcome. So, guys, that's my night. I appreciate y'all all joining me. You guys, welcome in Denise. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you, Denise. You've been here. So, I think Brandon goes out there and destroys. But I want to thank all of y'all for joining me on another wonderful, wonderful Wednesday night on the Hand Podcast. Mike Preach, brother. Go Cincinnati Bengals. Who Dey sucks. So, before we go, here are my picks. AFC, I'm taking Kansas City to beat Jacksonville, and I'm taking Cincinnati to beat Buffalo. NFC, I'm taking, man, you know what? I see the Giants pulling the upset. I see the Giants beating the Eagles. And I don't know if anybody thought I would say anything different, but Cowboys all the way. I'm taking the Cowboys to beat the Niners. I know the Niners are freaking tough, but you know what? I'll never cheer against my boys. But I cheer the right way. So let's go Cowboys. We them boys. Let's get it done in San Fran. Let's beat them in their home stadium like they beat us in ours last year. Let's go out there and beat those motherfuckers. With that being said, it's been a wonderful Wednesday night, everybody. And just remember, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Y'all have a great rest of the week. Party safe, party hard, but party responsibly. Let's go Cowboys. Y'all have a great night. Thank y'all. Boop, boop, boop. I want to thank all of y'all for joining me. It's been absolutely amazing. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. So thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great night.